Hello and welcome to this Aviva Periscope. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Ben Moss. I work for the Aviva external comms team. The reason we're doing the Periscope today is because Aviva has just announced its half-year results for 2017. And to go over the numbers, I'm very pleased to say that I'm joined right now by Maurice Tulloch, International Insurance CEO. Maurice, thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me.
First question, because I haven't talked to you all that often, just tell us, when you say international insurance, what countries are we actually talking about?
It's a range of diverse countries. So we've got Ireland, France, Spain, Italy, Poland, Lithuania, Turkey, India, Canada. I hope I haven't missed any out.
And so we mentioned already that it's the half-year results. So what have the figures look like across those countries?
Yeah, they've looked good. Our European operating profit was up 20%, so we're very pleased. We had sort of good growth in our VNB, and a lot of people talk about Europe as it's had a bit of a malaise, and it's been this sort of economic problem. And I think we're starting to see sort of Europe start to recover, and that's very encouraging. I mean, Ireland had strong results. The GI core was down to 84.7. We had top line growth. We had new customers. Our Canadian business had a tough winter and had some prior development, so it wasn't where it normally is as one of our absolute star businesses in the group, but it still had strong results. And I think most importantly, that business completed the integration of RBC, which was terrific, and grew its top line.
That was an acquisition, obviously.
It was an acquisition that we did last year, and formalized it last year, and just completed it in terms of getting all the customers onto one system, and our top line grew by 25% in Canada, which is pretty impressive.
Now, the customer at the heart of everything is kind of Aviva's ethos. When you cover that many countries, how do you think we can improve serving international customers when we are across such a diverse range of countries?
It's a great question, because I have the luxury of seeing what we do well and what we don't do so well in so many places, and at the heart of that allows me to sort of think about collaboration. So we've been very innovative in Canada in terms of product design with our ride sharing endorsement and our home sharing product and overland water, and I used to run a UKGI business, so I spent a lot of time thinking about sort of flooding and how do you start to think about sort of value propositions and customer loyalty. Our French business is bringing together all of our contact centers so that the experience is the same everywhere. Our Polish business is incredibly innovative, and they sort of think, how do you change insurance and how do you sort of get insurance so people have sort of a pick and mix and they can design exactly the sort of coverage that they want themselves. It's all about really our vision about sort of the fear of uncertainty and removing that for people. So I'm kind of blessed that I see that, and it allows me to deploy that. Another great example would be our Italian business. We're saving for the future. We designed a product which is 70% unit link, which sort of tracks markets, and 30% sort of guarantee that it protects their principal with a little protection rider thrown in there, and that's incredibly innovative. So yeah, it's fabulous to see that, and then sort of bring the best of all that to the rest of Aviva.
Now that's the collaboration side of it, but right. Are there challenges around when countries and customers have different needs? So do people in France have very different needs to people in Canada, say? Are there those challenges you have to deal with?
Well, I think, there are differences. I mean, countries go through sort of different macroeconomic trends. The principles of home ownership are a little bit different in some economies. Some have embraced sort of the sharing, differently. Certainly in India, one of the challenges that Modi has, 1.335 billion people, he would love to see everyone have a home, so the concept of home ownership is new. In Europe, where the population's older than a Turkey or in India, I don't think I mentioned Turkey before, so
no, you did.
I did, good, because it's a fabulous business. But it depends on the sort of social economic trends and aging populations, younger populations, and their needs and infrastructure, and global warming's a big thing. So I think the question is, it depends. But given the size and breadth of Aviva, we've got sort of those experience and those products and those propositions all around the group, and that certainly allows us to deploy that effectively based on the social economic needs.
And how is investment in digital, which we know is huge in Aviva, how is that working in the international business?
It's great. And our digital story is about digitizing everything that we do at Aviva. So we've got some great examples. Certainly in Canada, we completed the RBC, and we've now got all those customers on one platform. We did an interesting partnership with Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, and effectively created an affinity website where we're using almost powered by Aviva, if you like, In France, we have Aviva Law, which is effectively our My Aviva. We also have our Max Agent, which effectively connects our distributors. In Poland, our direct sales force is effectively all online. In our Indian business, our top agents are now using iPads. In Turkey, where auto enrollment came live, we had about 6 weeks to create mini sites so that we could start rolling it out to businesses so they could get their employees on the auto enrollment program, where the government actually contributes pretty significantly. So lots of great examples, and yet it needs to accelerate that much more. And the bit that needs to happen more in the international businesses that we're a little bit ahead in the UK is the whole frictionless customer experience and the things like Ask It Never, where we effectively try to eliminate as many questions as possible and simplify it for the consumer.
And a final point then, Aviva's financial story has been quite a positive one over the past 3-4 years. Are there external factors, particularly with an international kind of viewpoint, are there external factors that could potentially blow Aviva off course?
I don't believe so. We've been around for 321 years. If there's one thing that we know well, it's risk. Certainly in our life businesses in Europe, we're well matched. We've started a journey the last few years of getting out of the sort of high guarantee business. You saw that our French business, our present value of new business premiums was actually down 28% because we didn't chase the market down. We wrote more unit linked. In our GI business, which I've been leading the GI business for a number of years, it's all about risk management. It's all about understanding patterns. So the one thing that we're well grounded in is managing risk. We have a bit of an obligation to be around for another 321 years, and I think you'll have seen in today's numbers, our solvency ratio is now 193. We have 11.4 billion pounds of excess capital. So this is a company that's built for the long haul.
Fantastic. Maurice Tulloch, CEO of International Insurance at Aviva, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for watching this Periscope, and if you'd like to know more about Aviva's half-year financial results, you can visit aviva.com.
Thank you, Ben.